Hey everyone, Mr. Schultz here as we dive into the Module 4 practice test for the final study guide. So basically this is saying, hey, I want you to subtract them. So if I subtract the 4x, if I subtract the 4x by the 2x, I get 2x, and they all have that. All right, well, let's see. What do they not have? Well, I see I have an 8 here, I have nothing there, so I need to have this 8. So it's either going to be one of these two right here. So if I go negative 5x minus 9x, that's going to be plus 9x squared. So I'm going to have this minus 5x squared. And so I'm left with this 4x squared, which is right here. Let's go on. So it says, hey, I want you to divide. So if I actually divide this, I'm going to show you the work and just move on in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. All right, so I'm going to just quickly go through in order to get this 2x cubed. I need this 2x squared right here. I multiply it out. I get 2x squared minus 6x cubed minus 6x squared. Then if I subtract, I get 13x squared. Or do I get 13? Oh, no, 4. That should be 4. I should get 11x squared. And then I bring down this minus 7x. In order to get this 11, I'm going to need to get a positive 11x here. And then, hey, look, I have a plus 0 here. 11 times that. Ooh, what's that? Oh, it's 11x squared minus 22x. Subtract. This becomes positive. I should get 15x. And, oh, forgot the minus 30 right here. Minus 30. So if I bring that down, then it's going to be x times what? Plus 15. And 15 times that is 15x minus 30. And I get 0. There we go. I get 2x squared plus 11x plus 15. Let's go on. It says, hey, I want you to multiply. So you just have to multiply. So let's show you the box method. So I'm going to have actually, let's erase that. I'm going to use part of this as my box because I want to be lazy. So I have this. So I'm going to write it out. I have 4x cubed. I have minus 2x squared. Then I have negative x squared. I have 3x. And I have this minus 2 right here. So if I go through this, hold up. So if I go through this, I should get negative 4x to the fifth. And right, this should be positive 4x squared. If I look right now, hey, look, the only one with positive 4x squared right there is that right there. And I'm done. Don't have to do nothing else. We're done. All right, let's go on. So number 4, I have 14x cubed. That's basically, it's another, hey, subtract them. So if I put them on top of each other, 14x cubed minus x squared, and I just start off, I'm going to be minusing this 7x cubed and have this plus 4x squared. So I'm going to be like minus minus. So then this becomes 7x cubed and minus, this becomes negative 5x squared. And then, all right, let's see the next one. So the next one is x, and then this becomes plus 2x, and look at that. This is the only one that has them in order right there. All right, let's go on. Now this is another one. Hey, put 1 inside the other one. So we're going to put the g inside the f. So it's going to be 3 times 4x plus 5 minus 7. So if I multiply this out, I get 12x plus 15 minus 7, or 12x plus 8. Let's go on. So looking at this, if the inverse, I'm going to switch with the x and the y, now become the y and the x. Well, if I look at this, I know that I'm going to hit at 0, 3. My new point is 0, 3. So it's going to be y is equal to mx plus 3. And looking at this, the only one with the plus 3 right here is a right here. So we're done. Let's go on. We're actually going to continue this later. I'm going to pause it, and we'll come back to this in 3, 2, 1. All right, so continuing on, we have x squared plus 4x plus 3 is our function. So what we're going to do is we're going to find the inverse. We're going to switch the x and the y coordinates. So we're going to have, instead of y equals that, we're going to have x equal that. So I'm going to have x is equal to y squared plus 4x plus 3. What I don't really like about this is so it doesn't make a perfect square right here. So I'm going to get rid of that positive 3s by subtracting by 3 on both sides. So I'm going to have x minus 3 is equal to y squared plus 4x. In order to make this a perfect little square, something times something, like 2 times 2 is 4, I'm going to want to have half of the b, which is 2, and I'm going to square it. So 2 times 2 is 4. So I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So when we add 4 to both sides right here. So if I add 4 to both sides, I should have the following. X plus 1 is equal to y squared plus 4x plus 4. So this is actually y plus 2, that quantity squared, is equal to x plus 1. Now to get rid of that squared part, the opposite of squaring is square root. So I'm going to square root both sides. Now if I square root both sides, I have this plus or minus, because it's both positive and negative, square root x plus 1. And that's going to equal to, well, the square root of that cancels out, so I have y plus 2. Now I'm left with plus or minus the square root of x plus 1. And then I have this plus 2. I'm going to minus 2 on both sides. So looking at this, that's equal to x. Looking at that, if I want it to be a function, I'm going to want to make sure that it's not having two outputs. Well, if one output is positive, I'm going to want to make sure I get rid of this negative part right here. So now it's only going to be positive. Now I could say I only want the negatives, and then you're going to want to only have the one output. Now, if I want to talk about this a little bit, it looks like I'm going to go to the left 1 and down 2 right here. Did I ask that? Nah, but it's all right. Let's go on. So it says right here, hey, evaluate this. So it says, hey, 3/8 and negative 2/5. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out 256 is what times what times what. Now, I do believe I've already done this previously, and I know that 256, the eighth root of 256 is equal to 2, because it's 2 to the 8th power, and then I have this 3 right there. So that's 2 to the 3rd power, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. So I'm looking at 8 plus 1,000. Okay, I have negative 2/5. All right. So now I have to figure out, all right, I think that's going to be 10 to the 5th. So this guy is 10 to the 5th right here. So that cancels out this 1/5. So I'm going to have 1 to the 10 to the second, or 1. I should have. 8 plus 1 100th. Well, what's 1/100th? 1/100th is a penny. Well, there you go right there. There's C right there. Let's go on. Number 9. Continue our study guide. We're going to do the cube root of 729. And just because I want to show off, it's going to be 9 cubed is 729. I had to use a calculator. Just what I did, okay? I'm sorry. I lied. But that will cancel out. I'm going to be left with 9. But now I have 5x minus 7 to the 6th power. Well, if we remember, this is going to be 5x minus 7 to the 6 divided by 3. And so I get 9 times 5x minus 7 to the 2nd power. And at this moment I go, oh, you know what? This problem didn't have a 5 in it. So we take this off and be like, hey, man, there's a problem in the problem. There's an error in the problem itself. So it should be D, but it doesn't have a 5 for some reason. All right, let's go on to the next page. All right, looks like we have about, 3 pages left. So let's see if we can finish the study guide today. We have the volume is this. Where is X is the mass of the, how can this expression be rewritten? Okay, so this is really 170 times X to the 4/5. So I can put this guy in a lockbox. He's all by himself alone. Now, he would be inside if this was 170x to the 4/5, but he's not. So he's going to be outside. So we're going to cancel out these two right here. They're not inside. And the next part is you just have to remember whatever's on the bottom, that's the root, the radical. So I should have 170x to the 4th power right there. Oh, there you go, 8. Let's go on to the next one. So it's literally describe how the graph is going to run right here. Oh no, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna have to work my way from the X out. So the first thing is that plus 5. So I'm gonna move left 5. with the plus 5 right there, that means left 5. Go left 5. After that, I see this, I have this negative 2 right here. That means dilate away from the x-axis by a factor of 2. And now we're going to flip it because it's negative. And then finally, it says minus 3. It says down. Go down 3. Let's go on. Determine the values of A and B. All right, so I'm going to write A equals and B equals. Make sure I put a little tail on them so it looks like you know what A and B, and I'm not drawing a 6 or whatever. So I know that I have x to the 2/3 times x to the negative 1/4. So what I got to do is I have to add the exponents if they have the same base. So this is going to be, well, let's make sure they have the same base. So I'm going to times it by 4 on the top and the bottom. I get 8/12 x, and I'm going to be adding times it by 3 on the top and the bottom, 3/12. But it's negative. So I should get x to the 5/12. So A is 5, B is 12. All right, page 5. Which of the following is the following graph? So we got a flippy over part. This negative means he's going to flip over, so we know that C can't be C, can't be D. So now we look at this. We see, hey, it's going to go down 2, and hey, look, they both went down 2. Okay, well, this plus 6 means left. So there we go. This guy moved right, this guy, A moved right, B moved left. It's this one. All right, let's go. Number 14. Well, this is a cube root function. The only thing that happened was it moved down 1, 2, 3, 4. And so if it moves down, it's going to be outside the radical. And so I could say, hey, this is g of x or something. G of x is equal to the cube root of x minus 4. All right, let's go on. So I actually like this one. This one's kind of cool. So if I simplify this, I'm going to see that, hey, this is 4 times 3. So that's actually 2. So then this becomes 14. Radical 3 right here. So we pull out a 2. And this one would be 4 times 12, which is 4 times 4 times 3. And so this is like 2 right here. So then if I pull out a 4, this is going to be plus 8 radical 3. And then this one is going to be minus. But let's see. I have 25 times 3. That's the radical. I can pull out a 5. So this is going to be minus 20 radical 3. Well, 14, let's call it fish. 14 fish plus 8 fish is 22 fish. And 22 fish minus 20 fish is 2 fish. But we're going to re-put that because we want to make sure it looks mathematically sense. All right. Now we're on the last, I think we're on the last page now. Yeah, last page. Here we go. So they want to like multiply it. So they're like, hey, here's the length, here's the width. So we can multiply it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, all right, this times this. So I write this out. I have, hey, 3 to the 4th, 162, x to the 4th, y to the 7th. I'm going to multiply it to 2 to the 4ths right here. Okay, so I get 40, and then I have the x to the 3rd, y to the 5th. I mean, knowing the powers, if they're the same radical, I can put them all together. So 3 times 2 is 6. Then I have this 4th root right here. And I can do 162 is really 81 times 2. And that's going to be 9 times 9 times 2. And that's going to be 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, or 3 to the 4th times 2. So I can take one of these out and cut out the rest. So this will be 3 times 2 right here. And then I'll have 18 right now. Well, let's do the other ones. X to the 4th times x to the 3rd is x to the 7th. Well, I can write it right here. X to the 7th. And then y to the 7th, y to the 5th is y to the 12th, I do believe. So let's pause it and reflect. Actually, if I wanted to, I could like go back and be like, hey, this guy, I can pull out this 4th right here and cancel it out. So then this would be an x right here. So I could pull out the x, and so I'll leave that right there. So now I have an x. So it's 18x. So x to the third. And then I have this x to the 4. I have this fourth root of 12. I can do 12 divided by 4 is y to the third. So I could pull out a y to the third right here. So then I should have 18x to the fourth y to the third times 6. Should be 6. 3 times 2. All right, let's see where I made a little mistake. Oh, yeah, we're still missing the 40 right here. Times 40 times x cubed. Well, if I look at this, 40 is really 4 times 10. So I could simplify this more and be like, all right, I have 2 times 3 times 4 times 10. Well, that's 2. Well, this is, I can pull out a 2. So now I'm at 36. And then this is 2 times 5. Well, I could pull out this 2 right here. Oh, now I see where my mistake was. So I'm pulling out another 2. I get right here. Here, here, here. Let's pause it. All right, guys. So I made a little mistake right here. If I actually go back, the numbers inside should be the following. So I should have a 6. I should still have, I should still have x to the third inside, and I should still have x on the outside with the y cubed. But then this part happens. I have 4 2's inside, so 2 to the fourth and 3 to the fourth. This fourth root is going to get rid of those and bring this out. So then 6 times 6, that'll be 3 times 2 times 6 right here, that'll be 36. But if I pull them out, I'm left with 5 multiplied by 5, which is right here. All right. So we're going to go on to the next part right here. Here we go. Last question. So solving for this, we're going to do it step by step. We have 3 times 6x minus 8 to the 1/4 power right there, plus 3 is equal to 9. I'm going to work my way backwards. Take out everything that's away from the x, farthest away first on the same side. So if I minus 3 on both sides, I'm going to slowly isolate for that x right there. Next part, I get a 6. Now I'm going to divide by 3 because he's farther away. After that, I should have 6x minus 8 to the 1/4 power is equal to 2. And now I have to do the fourth root, or not fourth, I have to do it to the 4th power. So if I do both sides to the 4th power, the 4th root right here will cancel out. And 2 to the 4th power, 2 times 2, 2 times 2, that's 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, there we go. 16 is equal to 6x minus 8. So now I can just slowly start solving and isolating for x. So I have 6x is equal to 24. Well, divide by 6 on both sides. I'll get my answer of x is equal to 4. All right, guys. Sorry for butchering that problem 16 right there. But I hope you have a good day. I'll catch you in class. Bye.